All right, everybody, fundamentals of fitness. This is the extra workout number 2. Okay, so we started our program in the last workout video. We worked on the press and the squat patterns. Today, we're working on the carry and the lunge patterns. So you're going to see a lot of different variations as always, and we're going to get right into it with a appropriate warm up, starting with a sink stretch. So I'm going to use the TRX just because I'm here in the gym and have access to one. If you have a suspension trainer at home, it's an excellent tool to use for this. You can also just use a counter, the back of a couch, the backrest of a chair, anything to put your hands on that's about chest or belly height, okay? And all you're gonna do is grab onto that surface, feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You're just gonna sink down into the hips until you've got a nice stretch through your lats, okay? So we're just gonna hang out here. And what I'm gonna do, because passive stretching has a lot less benefit than active stretching or active mobility drills. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to just rotate to one side. You'll feel the added pressure tension through the lats and triceps on the downward angle. And then I'm just going to rotate the other direction. And I'm slowly gonna add this mobility to the drill, this active mobility work. And I'm going to go for about a minute here. Just shifting side to side, shifting my weight, feeling the stretch change side to side. And we're going to load this up because the lats are really going to want to get involved in stability, especially when we get into the carry patterns today. So mobilizing through the lats, getting them nice and long and warm is going to help to give us a good stability pattern when we go to challenge those carries. All right, stand upright. That's enough of our sink stretch mobility drill for the posterior chain up through the back of the shoulder. Now we're going to get on the ground and we're going to do some hip uprighting. So this is a developmental drill. We've done this before in our jump start program or our kickstart program. But we're going to try to work on it a little bit more throughout. It's just a perfect way to get stability through the hips. We're going to be doing some lunge patterns. So unilateral stability or stability on one side is going to be really important for us. So what we're going to do is start in this 7-month developmental position or low oblique sit. So the top leg is at 90 degrees, knee and shin, okay? And the bottom leg and then the top leg is kind of going to act like dead weight here behind us. Okay, and the shoulder or the elbow is going to be under the shoulder. We're going to pick the ribs up, so we want to make sure we're nice and active. And then I'm going to roll my torso, so my shoulders and hips are going to roll together onto this front leg. And then I'm going to push through the knee, open up, push the hips forward, so I come into this nice side plank position. Then I'm going to lower down in control and roll open. Okay, so I'm going to roll it all shut, load through the knee, pick up the hips, lower and control, and repeat. Roll, push through the knee, cantilever the hips forward, press the hips forward here, lower and control, reset, always keeping the ribs up here, belly full of air. We're going to go 5 reps per side here. Nice lower. This is how every infant learns to go into a crawling position or a hands and knees position from side lying or a side supported position. Now we're going to go opposite side here. So remember, left arm, elbow is going to be right under the shoulder. We're going to pick the ribs up. Bottom leg is going to come forward at a 90-degree angle. The tighter this leg is to the thigh, the harder it's going to be. So we want to make sure we have almost like a 45-degree angle here in the front of the hips. I'm going to roll my whole body, torso, shoulders, hips together, load through the knee, pick the hips up, push forward, lower and control, down nice and slow. And we're going to repeat, roll, push through the knee, pick up the hips, down and control, roll, push the hips through, down and back. 3, I'm going for 5 reps here. And one more. This top leg's kind of just dead weight in the air here. You can leave it resting behind you, whatever's comfortable. All right, got those reps in, and now I'm going to get set up, and I'm just going to do a nice 30-second 6-month plank. So a 6-month plank is a plank from the knees, but we're going to focus on perfect form here. So The hands are just going to be a little bit in front of the shoulders, okay? Toes are going to be tucked under, like we're going to come into a plank. And all we're going to do here is two different movements. First movement, we're going to tuck your tail. So I want you to think about taking your tail and tucking it up underneath, or picturing pulling your pelvis up underneath you. Okay, so we got nice alignment there. And then you're going to take your chin and you're going to tuck your chin until you get the chin in line with the spine. Okay, so we're going to be a nice ramrod position here. We're going to hold this position and breathe for 30 seconds. And I want you to really focus on bringing all the air down into your belly. As you hold this plank, really focus on that good spinal positioning. All right, done that drill. I'm going to get right back into my round 2 of the sync stretch mobility. We're going 3 rounds of 3 moves. It's kind of our standard warm-up routine here. And just going to open up side to side. Using the counter, you can use the back of a couch. The back rest of a kitchen chair works just as good as well. There's tons and tons of options at home. Remember, the whole point of this program is really to show you that like fitness is accessible no matter where you are. The only limitation is your mindset as to what you can achieve, the drills that you can do, the exercise that you can accomplish. One minute here. Again, don't forget to breathe. It's just a warm up. There's my minute. Excellent. And hip uprighting. So again here, 7-month developmental position. So that's where we're at right now. This is also called low oblique sit. Same. I'm going to roll my body like I'm a barrel here. So shoulders and hips go together. Push through the knees, up through the hips, down through the hips. In control. Back into this position here. Roll, load, lower, roll. Keeping the ribs up all the time. Really making sure we keep good spinal alignment, intra-abdominal pressure. Working on a great hip stability pattern. I'm going to go for one more rep here on this side. Swing around and repeat. Really warming up all the external rotators and stabilization through the hip. Try to make sure you don't tuck your chin or round or crunch your spine. Again, you want to imagine you're standing up with perfect posture here. Chin in line with the spine, back's nice and straight. Get your 5 reps in. Switch it around. Let's get 30 seconds of an absolutely perfect 6-month plank. This is really going to help us with those carry patterns, getting that core stability. So the 2 things here, tuck the tail. So you're really going to get that good pelvic position, and then spinal alignment here. 30 seconds. And breathe into the belly. If you really focus on form in a plank, it'll limit how long you think you can hold the position. It'll make a simple exercise a whole lot more difficult. Maintain that pelvic positioning, spinal alignment. All right, there's my 30 seconds. And right back to the top. I'm starting to get warm here, feeling the blood flow. Back to the mobility drill. And 1 minute here. Good. Now the nice thing about this too is it almost replicates a hanging position. So there's a little bit of spinal decompression happening here too, which is really nice. A pull-up bar is an excellent mobility tool actually to have at home. You can buy a relatively cheap version of a pull-up bar that just goes in the doorway. You can buy freestanding pull-up bars. And just a dead hang is just an excellent full body mobility rest recovery position that you can manage to get into daily. If you have access to the pull-up bar, highly recommend on your off days or your recovery days or after a workout, spending some time in a hanging position. And this kind of replicates a little bit of that as we lean back and we let the suspension trainer or the cabinet or whatever we're holding on to give us a little bit of tension. So we have some spinal distraction there. 1 minute, excellent way to warm up the spine. Back to our uprighting position. Roll, push through the knee, up through the hips. And I think you'll find that as you perform repetitions throughout the warm-up, you will get better in your ability to perform these movements. The motor control will improve. Your stability around these joints will improve. And everything will just generally feel a lot easier, a lot smoother. And that's learning. That's your body learning different positions, learning how to stabilize joints. It's really what we're trying to achieve by doing 3 rounds in succession. So it's a little bit different if you do, let's say we did uprighting 3 rounds back to back to back with no other exercises in between. It doesn't give your body a chance to process that movement pattern that you're trying to learn. And it's a little bit of a less effective strategy to be able to teach your body how to control a certain joint. And that's really what we're trying to do with our warm-up. You'll see that as sort of a theme throughout our fitness fundamentals program, because really that is learning how to warm up your body. That's a fundamental of fitness. That's super important to be able to train in a sustainable fashion for years instead of months or weeks. Okay, so that's really what we're trying to achieve, is build you a foundation of fitness that you can carry with you for years to come. Sustainability, really, it's important to give you the lifestyle that you want down the road. So again, 6-month plank here. We're going to hit 30 more seconds. We'll debrief about the workout to come, and we'll get ready to go. Okay, so here I am. Hands a little bit in front of the shoulders. First things first, tuck my tail. I'm really going to picture pulling my pelvis up underneath me with the abs. Okay, and then make sure I get my spine. So here I might feel neutral, but you can see my head's kind of forward. I really want to get that CT junction extension, really drive through, perfect spinal alignment. Breathe through my belly. All right, 30 seconds is up. So we're going to be getting into our workout here in just about 1 minute. So we're going to get set. I'm going to grab a drink. Okay, so as I said before, we're working on a carry and lunge pattern. Okay, I will classify crawls and carries sort of in the same category, because they both require a rigid core. And that's really why a carry is a fundamental movement pattern. So we're going to start with a bear crawl, okay? And we're going to go through variations as always as we build through the 5 rounds. We're going, again, same format as workout number 1, 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, 5 exercises, 5 rounds. 1 minute rest between rounds. I'll walk you through everything, all the variations. As always, if you're going through and the next variation becomes too difficult, you back up, stick with the variation that you're very good at, and do quality reps. Remember, it's quality over quantity. So here we go, bear crawl position. We're actually just going to hold the bear position, no crawling yet. So we're going to tuck the toes under, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, screw the wrists into the ground so the elbow crease is in line with the thumb. And we're just going to pick the toes up. Now remember, again, just like that 6-month plank, make sure you really get that CT junction extension, spinal alignment. And we're just holding here 40 seconds and breathing. All that air comes into the belly. Keep that spinal position. Really push the floor away. Don't let your shoulders get saggy. Push through the floor. Get nice and active. And time. Perfect. Great start. Okay, so really today we're doing 3 moves. 2 of them are bilateral or unilateral movements, sorry. So we're going to be doing a suitcase carry for our second exercise here. We're going to start with just a suitcase hold. So I'm going to take the heaviest weight I have in the house, and I'm going to deadlift that into position. I'm just going to hold here. I'm going to keep my shoulders stacked, level across the hips, ribs down, abs crunched, and I'm just going to hold. So we're starting with all isometrics for the first round. With our carry patterns, our carry and crawl. Don't forget to breathe. We're just warming up the pattern before we get going here. And I'm going to deadlift this down, so a nice active lower. We want these carries to be the heaviest weight you have in your home. Load up a backpack with every book, every dumbbell you've got, whatever you need to do. We want this to be as heavy as you can possibly hold for 40 seconds, okay? Here I go. Nice deadlift position. Lift. And here we're holding. Spinal alignment. Remember, you're standing up, perfect posture. Chin's tucked, ribs down, abs crunched. Keep those shoulders level. So we've got an active upper trap, rear delt, packing the shoulder into position. And I'm just holding here, isometric. Try to feel equal weight under both legs. It's a difficult part of this movement. And I'm going to deadlift lower. Awesome. Okay, so now we're working on our lunge pattern. Our lunge, we're going to start body weight, okay? We're going to do forward lunge, reverse lunge. We're going to do a seesaw lunge, and then we're going to start loading it up weight for the last 2 rounds. So we're going to go with a forward lunge, okay? Left foot's going to be standing the whole time. So I'm going to lunge forward with my left foot and back, okay? Left foot forward and back. So all we want to do is step out, feel the floor under our foot, lower the back knee down to the ground, and as we press up, we're going to come back into standing position, okay? We're just working that perfect lunge pattern. Get the arms involved, cross body. So the right arm comes up as the left leg goes forward. Don't forget to breathe. 20 seconds. Remember, round 1 is usually like an extended warm-up to get the feel for the moves. Time, little break, and then we're going to go right side, okay? Right leg is going to lunge forward. Remember, an opposite arm pattern. We're just grooving the movement. Round 1, getting the blood flowing a little bit more, almost like an extended warm-up, but really we're working on these fundamental movement patterns. And down, opposite arm to the forward leg. It's a cross-body pattern, very similar to the crawl, right? A lunge it's really interesting. Most lunges and carries are very similar. And then you can group crawls into that as well, where we're doing cross-body patterns that are working the anterior oblique sling, posterior oblique sling of the body, really working unilateral movements, as opposed to the other 4 patterns, which are often bilateral or both sides of the body at the same time. And time. Okay, so now we got a 1-minute rest round. Make sure to stay hydrated, grab your fluids, and we're going to continue to progress throughout. Always catch your breath in the warm-up. Reset your body. Get ready for the work to come. You're trying to calm your heart rate down. We want peaks and valleys. That's where you're going to get the aerobic cardiovascular response that your body's looking for in these workouts. Okay? We need those peaks and valleys. 10 seconds in, here we go. We're going to be on the ground with the bear crawl. And I'm just going to crawl forward and backward in a linear pattern here. So bear position where we just were. Make sure you take short steps. We're going to go opposite arm, hand. The knees are coming straight forward. They're not coming out to the side, so I don't want to see any flared hips, okay? Keeping those knees and hands in perfect alignment. 3 steps forward, 3 steps back. And keeping that spinal alignment nice and strong. We're working this crawling pattern. Now, if this is too difficult, go back, do the bear hold we did in round 1. An excellent variation. You can carry that through all 5 rounds in time. Whew. Okay, so now we're going suitcase carry. Again, we're going to stick with the same pattern. We're going linear. Okay, so I'm going to walk forward 3 or 4 steps and then backward 3 or 4 steps. As always, I'm going to really address this heavy weight with good deadlift form. Hips back, knees over the toes, push through the heels, lock that shoulder in position, and now I'm going to slowly, owning every step, 4 steps forward, 4 steps back, owning every step, keeping the ribs down, abs crunch. Remember, heaviest weight in your house. Load it up as best you can. Really focusing on that good spinal positioning. And I'm going to deadlift that down. Okay. Opposite arm. See if we can't do a little bit of a different angle here. I'm going right side. I really want you to try and keep your shoulders level, so don't let your shoulders sag. Down through the knees. Nice deadlift for that weight. Lock in that shoulder position, ribs down, abs crunch. And I want you to very slowly and deliberately own every step. When your foot hits the floor, I want you to feel strong and stable all the way through the ground into that shoulder that's holding the weight. Rock solid. Nice heavy carry. Now this is fine to do with lighter weight, but you might find some of the other variations that I'm going to go to here in rounds 3, 4, and 5 to be a little bit more challenging with lighter weight. Okay, drop that down. Now we're going to work the second part of the lunge pattern in the seesaw lunge, which is the reverse part. Okay, so the left leg is now, you're going to be forward and we're going to be stepping back with the right leg. Okay, so left leg's forward, reverse lunge with the right leg, step back. So now we're working the opposite half of the movement from the front lunge or the forward lunge that we did last round. Again, just body weight here. We will load this up. In rounds 4 and 5. For now, we're just going to get that pattern nailed down, rock solid. Keep that chest up, head forward. Nice and good, round there. And now we're going to finish off right leg with a reverse lunge. So right leg's planted, left leg's coming back. Okay? Exact same concept as we just did. We're building ourselves towards the higher quality lunge patterns. And here we go. Reverse lunge. Right leg is now forward. Left leg is stepping back. The opposite of last round. Keep your chest up, chin tucked. You want to fight the urge to stare down at your foot. Okay? Look at what's in front of you. Trust your body. Feel the floor. We're going 40 seconds of steady movement. You want to try and keep that shin nice and vertical in the lunge. Dig into the hips. One more rep. And time. Rest, break. 2 rounds down. 3 rounds to go. Get hydrated. We're back in just 1 minute. Okay, so now our carry crawl patterns, we're going to start to challenge the coronal plane. So everything we've done so far has been in the sagittal plane, which is this way of the body. Okay, we're now going to change and challenge the coronal plane, okay, with some lateral suitcase carries and some lateral bear crawls. So what I want you to do here with the bear crawl position, get into that bear position, tuck the toes underneath, and now we're going to crawl left and right for 40 seconds. Toes tucked under, screw those hands into the floor, and then we're going to go opposite arm leg again, same crawling pattern, but now we're going to go side to side. So I really want you to keep that chin tucked, good spinal position, and we're just going side to side repetitions, really working the inside and outside of the hip. We live our lives in the sagittal plane, so getting a little bit of dedicated work is going to be super important for maintaining your body's ability to perform these movements. Awesome. Great start there. Now I'm going to pick my heavy weight up, left arm, and I'm going to do the same thing with the carry, the suitcase carry. Okay? Down through the knees, lift, and I'm going to step to the side, and then back the opposite direction. This variation is probably going to feel quite odd. Just because you spend very little time here, you're going to feel a little bit uncoordinated, maybe a little bit unstable, but that's why we're including this in the program. We need to be able to access these movements because stuff like this comes up in your daily routine and your body needs to be ready for it. Bulletproof. Okay. Deadlift down, nice and controlled, always maintaining excellent form and movement quality. Okay. Same thing here with our lateral carry. Suitcase carry, right arm down through the knees, nice deadlift up, and going out. All right. Keep it going. Rock solid. Keep that shoulder packed. Again, heaviest weight you've got in the home that you can handle is going to make this exercise more effective. Lighter weight still good. We're going to get a little bit more out of some heavy load here and deadlift down nicely. Okay, now we've earned the right to do a full seesaw lunge. Okay, so a seesaw lunge is a forward lunge and a reverse lunge without stopping in the middle. So we're going to leave the left leg planted the whole time. I'm going to start with a forward lunge, and then as I come out of the lunge, I'm going to step right back into a reverse lunge and keep going. So here we go. Forward lunge, left leg stays planted, right back into a reverse lunge and swing through. Okay, so now we're going both lunge patterns, challenging both posterior and anterior aspects of the hip and thigh in a one smooth movement. Left leg staying planted this round, right leg's going to stay planted in the next interval. And we're just trying to get some repetitions in. And time. Perfect. Right leg comes next. Right leg is going to stay planted, left leg's going forward. Now, we've also got pre-fatigue from the rounds before, but also just that last interval. So you always want to start with your weak side when you're doing unilateral exercises and finish on your strong side. Right leg stays planted. We're going to go straight from a front lunge into a reverse lunge. And for 40 seconds here, we're repping this out, keeping that lunge pattern going. Now, if you're still back on front lunges, there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, you're probably getting an excellent workout from pre-fatigue and mastering that movement pattern. The next time you go to try lunges, you're going to be that much better for it. So don't feel bad at all about staying at a previous variation. That's the point, rest, of giving you lots of different options throughout the workout, and building up to movement mastery, which is our goal. Okay, 2 more rounds. 2 more rounds, 2 more variations. So, our bear crawl variation, I'm going to do a rotary crawl. So now we're breaking out of the coronal plane, and I'm going to do crawling on the spot in a circle, okay? So I'll show you what I mean here, but I'm basically just going to crawl in a circle clockwise and counterclockwise, transverse plane. So now we've got all planes of movement challenged in the same workout. Here we go. Hands, toes. Now I'm going to crawl myself in a circle. I'm going counterclockwise to start, and I'm staying on the spot, crawling in a circle. I'm going to hit back to center here, right at the halfway point, and I'm going to reverse. Now, if this is too difficult, go right back to either linear crawling or lateral crawling like we've done in the 2 previous rounds, or go right back to a bear hold that we did in round 1. All the way back around. Awesome. Finish strong. Okay, now I'm going to change up the suitcase carry a little bit. I'm going to go to a front rack carry, okay? So I'm going to get this kettlebell up to the front rack position. I'm going to use a nice cleaning hinge paw position. Get into that carry position. And now I'm going to walk here, forward and back, adding that weight up a little bit higher. Totally increases the stability demands. And I know I started with the right arm. I apologize for going out of order. I'll do the left arm next round. Really trying to challenge the system here. And I'm going to lower and control. Whew. Okay, you might need to drop a little bit of weight for this one. If you're going to go with the front rack carry, it might be good to back off. If you've been using lighter weights the whole time, this is going to be an excellent variation for you to be able to get that challenge we're looking for. So we're going to, again, clean into front rack, hold that front rack position. All the same things apply. Arm out to the side for counterbalance. Ribs down, abs crunch. Nice spinal alignment. Slow and steady every step. Owning every step here. Getting that weight into a different position totally changes the stability demands. And I'm going to clean this down, nice and controlled. Wow, fantastic. Okay, so now I'm going to load up my seesaw lunge. I'm going to add a nice kettlebell here, moderate weight, don't go super heavy here. Left leg staying planted, and I'm going to put the weight in the left arm. So we're going ipsilaterally loaded, meaning the load is in the same arm as the working leg. Left leg staying planted. I'm going seesaw through, arms out for counterbalance. Any weight will do. Dumbbell, kettlebell, backpack full of books. We're just adding a little bit more load to make this exercise a little bit more metabolically challenging. Push our bodies a little further. And time. Lower that in control. And repeat. Now it's going to be right leg, right arm. Definitely getting that spike now. Heart rate is up. Here we go. Right leg stays planted. Right arm. And we're swinging right through from forward lunge, reverse lunge, arms out for counterbalance. And time. Woo! Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. One more round to go. Catch your breath. Stay upright. Good posture. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Try and calm down the breathing. One more round. Coming up in 40 seconds. Make sure to stay hydrated. This is the final round. So this is where you give your best effort. Okay? Sustainability and fitness is being able to endure your workout and perform as well on round 5 as round 1. Okay? That's really one of the reasons we build ourselves up with all these different variations. Now, I'm just going to go to a straight linear bear crawl here because I find that to be a challenging movement pattern, and we've explored a lot of different variations. I want you to pick your favorite one. If it's lateral crawling, rotational crawling, holding, linear crawling, pick your favorite crawl for this last 40 seconds. And time. Okay. Now, carry. I'm going to cap off this carry workout with a nice overhead carry. Okay. The most challenging carry yet. I'm definitely going to drop weight here. I'm going to clean that dumbbell or kettlebell into position. Left arm, press up overhead. And now, ribs down, abs crunch. I'm going to carry this overhead for 40 seconds, keeping that nice, strong shoulder position. It's all about endurance, physical endurance, being able to perform in round 5 like round 1. Okay, lower in control if you're up above your head, and then slowly lower to the ground. Okay. Opposite arm, same thing here. Remember, anytime we're picking anything up from the floor, it's about quality over quantity. Perfect deadlift position. I'm gonna clean it with my hips, and now press overhead. Now I'm in position for my final carry. Right arm overhead, ribs down, abs crunched. Really keeping that perfect standing posture. If you can be perfect under pressure, you can be perfect when nobody's looking. Owning every step, go nice and slow. You're almost there. And lower, and then lower. Fantastic. Okay, now seesaw lunge pattern. Okay, we're going left leg, and I'm gonna load contralaterally. So the opposite arm to the working leg is gonna hold the weight this round. That means left leg forward, right arm holding weight. Seesaw lunge here. Nice deadlift position. And now seesaw through. This changes up the balance requirements a little bit. It also loads the hip in a little bit of a different way in each rep. We're keeping training variability high. Keep your body guessing. That's how we learn new things, by experiencing new things. Don't forget to breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slow and steady. One more rep here. Nice. Great work. Final interval here coming up. Right leg, left arm, loaded seesaw lunge. Here we go. Deadlift that weight up. Right leg's planted. Here we go. Left leg forward, left leg back. Time. Lower and control. Wow. Great work, everybody. We are done the workout. We've got a little cool down here, but I'm just going to take a second here to catch my breath, slow down my heart rate, try and get reset for the rest of my day, the rest of my week. If training stays with you through the rest of your day and tomorrow it's affecting your daily life, you train too hard, you pick variations you weren't prepared for, and you did not recover properly. We want to make sure that training doesn't get in the way of your life. It's a part of your life. It's important to take the time to make that possible. Okay? I'm going to do a little bit of mobility work for my low back. We did some heavy load today, so I had a 72-pound kettlebell here for my carries. That's a lot of compressive load for the spine. I'm going to try and decompress a little bit with some down dog to cobra position or press up to down dog. I'm going to start on the ground. I'm just going to push myself up, leave my glutes relaxed, all in the arms, get some nice extension here. And I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm just going to come into a nice downward dog position, pull my chest to my toes, back forward to the ground. I'm going to press up, get that nice extension. Really try and pull those hips through to the floor, get that good low back extension, and then up and through. Now make sure this is mobility and recovery and not too much load. If you need to slow it down, if you need to stick with just the press up, that's totally fine. I'm just exploring my low back a little bit, seeing how it feels, trying to give it the love that it needs to have a great day. Couple press ups. Fantastic. And then I noticed a little bit of cramping on the inside of my foot, or the bottom of my foot in that round. We did a lot of loading through the feet today, a lot of standing exercises. So I'm going to do what's called a cowboy sit. just to mobilize the bottom of my foot a little bit. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to sit back on I'm going to tuck my toe underneath from that lunge position. And I'm going to sit back on that and add a little bit of pressure. You should feel quite a stretch through the bottom of your foot. That's going to be stretching all of the big stabilizing muscles through the big toe and the bottom of the foot. And it's really important that these muscles don't get too tight from grasping the floor, especially in a workout like that where you're really rooting for stability and grabbing for stability each repetition. We got to make sure that those muscles stay loose and flexible and very pliable. They're supposed to be reactive, and these joints are supposed to have a lot of range of motion. If this is a little uncomfortable, just take a little bit of the pressure off, okay? I'm really just trying to mobilize through those muscles in the back of the leg. And I'm going to switch around, hit the other side here for a quick second. So again, a little bit of a different view. I've got my toe tucked underneath, sitting back on my heel. Try to sit nice and upright, really mobilize the bottom of that foot. Grab a drink while you're doing it. A little bit of love for the low back. A little bit of love for the feet. It's going to get you set and ready for the rest of your day, rest of your week, the next workout, the next month of workouts, the next year of workouts. This is where sustainability happens, right here. All right. Excellent workout, everybody. You crushed it. We did a lot of different variations. You're learning. You're growing. We are going to be back at you with workout number 3 coming soon. And then this is really just getting started of an excellent month of fitness fundamentals. Learning together, growing together, and building a future foundation together. See you later.